Apple just surrendered giving $1 billion a year to Google for Siri's brain. If the best funded in-house company on earth can be overruled by a cost per token calculation, yours can too. Your CFO is already asking, why build this when we can rent it? I've spent months watching build versus buy calls turn into layoffs. And this is the cleanest case yet. By the end of this video, you will know the exact line Apple drew, what OpenAI's ONA acquisition move reveals about the same trend, and the Claude workflow that tells you which side you're on, build or buy. For 15 years, the safest job in tech was building core capability in-house. The platform team, the infra team, the we don't outsource this team, Apple just made that the most exposed seat in the building. It didn't cut the team that integrates AI. It cut the mandate of the team that builds it. By the end, I'm handing you two things. The one-page build versus buy memo Apple's team should have walked into that meeting with, generated by Claude. And the headless setup that makes an agent run your task overnight while your laptop's closed and sleeping. The thing OpenAI just paid hundreds of millions for. Both runnable this weekend. But you need to see the line Apple drew first in the architecture itself. Siri's new brain is a custom Google model with 1.2 trillion parameters. Apple's own cloud model had only 150 billion parameters. Google has 8 times that. Apple didn't just rent a model. It rented one its own team had no path of creating. Now, watch what Apple kept. Every Siri request gets sorted into one of the 3 tiers. Small stuff runs on the model, right on your iPhone. The bigger stuff goes to Apple's own servers, behind a privacy wall called private cloud compute. Apple guarantees that even it can see your data, and that Google never trains on it. Only the heaviest queries leave for Google's Gemini on NVIDIA chips in Google's cloud, the thing deciding which tier each request goes for. That's Apple's system orchestrating, and Apple built that itself. About the motive, because it's the whole story. Apple basically ran a bake-off. Google, Anthropic, and OpenAI. And Bloomberg Mark Gurman is blunt about how it ended. Google didn't win on quality. It won on price, undercutting the others by hundreds of millions. The most cash-rich company in history picked its AI brain the way a procurement manager picks a cloud vendor, cheapest qualified bid. And Apple's own models team, it is still there, quietly building a 1 trillion parameter model they hope replaces Gemini someday. Now, not everyone reads this as Apple losing, and the people who disagree have a real point. Engineers like Vadim Yoryev called it the smartest move Apple could have made. If you can't beat them, pay them. Building your own is like building your own power plant when there is a grid right there. The moat was never the model. The moat is what Apple kept, the privacy wall, the on-device experience, the orchestration across billion devices. So by that read, Apple didn't capitulate. It made the correct call, rent a commodity, own the moat. And that matters more to you than it does to Apple, because it tells you exactly which side of the line is safe. If your in-house work is the model commoditizing layer, you're exposed. If it's the orchestration one, the data, the integration, the judgment, you are the moat. Same line Apple drew. Your job is on one side of it. Apple drew that line inside a product. The company that builds AI for a living just drew that same line inside its infrastructure, and it tells you where the work itself is about to move. The place you do your work, your laptop, your local setup, the environment you know is about to stop being where the work happens. On June 11th, OpenAI bought a company called ONA to make exactly that happen. ONA used to be called GitPod. It builds cloud sandboxes, sealed, disposable computers in the cloud. ONA's version does one specific thing. It lets an AI agent keep working for hours, even days, after you close your laptop and walk away. And here is the detail that matters. That agent doesn't run on OpenAI servers. It runs inside your company's own cloud infrastructure. It's AWS, it's Google Cloud, it's Azure, it's private cloud. Right behind the company's access controls, and every single action it takes gets written to an audit log. OpenAI calls it customer-controlled execution. It's folding all of this into Codex, its coding agent, which the press wrote this up as agents can run longer now. Read OpenAI's own framing though. The real prize is control, not speed. Think about that. What control means here is the work product detaches from you, the environment detaches from your machine, and the audit trail records what the agent did, not what you did. IDC's analyst said, this doesn't make Codex better at writing code. It makes it safe enough to deploy, which is a problem companies have been struggling with lately. The autonomous agent isn't replacing the senior engineers. It's being built a supervisor holding pen, and somebody senior has to design that pen and watch it. OpenAI spent $500 million on a babysitter, basically, who never sleeps. 2 companies in 1 week draw lines. Apple drew it in a production. OpenAI drew it in infrastructure, basically confirming rent the commodity but keep the moat. The only question left is which side your job currently lands on. Here's how to make sure it lands on the right side. First, the build versus buy memo. The one Apple's team should have walked in with. Most people paste a couple of files into a chat window like Claude.ai and walk away. That's the junior move though. It can't see your architecture. So instead do this. Open Claude Code in your actual repo in plan mode and run this. Read this service. Find the one capability we're building in-house that a frontier model API could do instead. Write a 1-page memo. What we build, what the API costs per 1,000 calls, where our version is genuinely better, and where it's just more expensive. Be brutal. If Claude can't name a place in your in-house version is genuinely better, that's your answer, right? And you want to be the one who said it first. Second, the thing OpenAI just paid for. An agent that works while your laptop's closed. You already have it actually. Claude Code's headless mode. The command is Claude-P with your task in quotes, and it runs on completion on its own. But here is the part that actually matters the most, and it makes it work. It can't run on your laptop. A scheduled job on your machine dies the moment you close it. It has to live on an always remote server, always on server like AWS, Claude Code, or VM, or any cheap virtual private networks. So install Claude Code there, set your Anthropic API key there as the environment variable, and schedule the command with a cron job. Or skip the server entirely and run it through GitHub Actions on Anthropic/Claude-Code-Action, which executes on GitHub's own remote machines. Pointed at a long, boring, well-defined job, a test coverage backfill, for example, a dependency migration. Then add --output-format JSON for a clean result. And also add --max-turns so it can run forever. By the way, this is straight from Anthropic's own Claude Code headless documentation. You close the laptop Friday, you come back on Monday, the work is done on a server that never slept, with a log of every single action step it took. That's ONA in your own pipeline for the price of just the tokens. So don't let the next corporate update be a surprise. Hit subscribe button so you're the first to know next time. And as a thank you, meet my dog, Caden, with 0 AI anxiety and 100% job security. Now, watch this next video to learn about the new AI job that pays double what you're making today.